Hey everyone, welcome to my ultimate bear market course to make the most crow. All the things I'm going to cover can also be applied to any other altcoin or Bitcoin. I'm going to be sharing a ton of information, so get prepared with a paper and pen to take lots of notes or watch this as many times as you need. One of the first things we need to discuss is how important bear markets are and why they are the best time to learn and take advantage of these prices, and also why you will make the most progress in your portfolio during these times. Crow has gone from the highs of 90 cents at the peak of the bull run, and even most of the common price for Crow during the bull run was around 20 cents. Now at this point in the bear market, it has been trading between 5 and 6 cents, which is down 75% from the common price of Crow at 20 cents and about 95% from the high of 90 cents. Bear markets are hard. The last thing that I want to do is check my portfolio when things are down so much. We often have the opposite feelings in a bear market compared to a bull market. In a bull market, everything's going great and you're invested in the markets and wanting to learn every single part of the crypto market, such as DeFi, NFTs, metaverse, trading, staking, etc. In the bear market, we often see the opposite emotions. It seems like everyone disappears and no one cares to learn anything about crypto or any part of it during these times. During the bull market, I heard all about crypto at my job, classes, and from friends and family that before weren't interested at all. Now in the bear market, I haven't heard any crypto talk or interest anymore. Even for myself, part of me wishes that I could just fast forward until the next bull run and just not look at my portfolio of crypto in general for the next couple years. This is the chance of a lifetime. The last bear market I went through of 2018 and 2019, I spent the majority of that time not thinking about crypto or really investing anything into it. Until the last few months of 2019 is when I really got back into things and wanted to learn trading and about tons of different projects. So one of the projects that I found is Sand when it was only a couple months old, and I bought a few $100 worth when it was about 4 to 5 cents. And I bought it on Binance, so just a few months later they said that they were freezing any accounts based out of the US, so I was forced to sell my Sand for a slight profit of maybe like 20%, 30%, and I couldn't find any exchanges at the time to rebuy it. And since then it went crazy and I missed out on a ton of potential gains. And I was super upset at Binance because I could have made tons of money from it, even though honestly I probably would have just sold it early. I think the most that I would have made is maybe a 10x. The lesson I learned is how powerful it is to find these projects in the bear market and learn these skills in a bear market. It helped push me so much further than I could have imagined in the bull run. We not only get the chance to buy Crow at extremely cheap prices, but we can also master all aspects of crypto, such as DeFi, NFTs, metaverse, trading, staking, and more during these times, like I said before. Those skills we learn will help us tremendously make more money in these markets. Crow has their Kronos network with lots of different projects on their DeFi platform, including NFTs and much more that you can learn about and study. Creating strategies including trading or staking can help you earn more Crow and build a bigger portfolio with it. There are countless things that we can learn during this chance of a lifetime. I'm going to share a bunch of things with you all that I believe will not only help you thrive in the bear market, but it'll actually excite and motivate you to work harder than ever. First thing you're probably wondering is how long the bear market is going to last. Now there is no concrete answer I can give you, but I can give you some ideas based on previous market cycles. Most people say the bear market lasts roughly 1 to 2 years. The previous bear market was in 2018 and 2019, and the end of 2017 was the last bull run, and it peaked first week or two of 2018. April of 2019, we saw momentum as Bitcoin went from about 5,000 all the way up to 13 or 14,000 in a couple months. It got to those prices by July of that year. Then we saw the COVID crash in March of 2020, and from there it was all upside for the next year and a half. And the reason was because May of 2020 was the Bitcoin halving, which plays a big role in the market cycles according to most. So based on the historical data, people think by 2024 we could be out of the bear market, especially when the next halving happens. This is expected to happen in April of 2024, but can happen either earlier or later than that date. I personally believe the bear market will end sometime in 2024 based on the previous cycles and data, which gives us another year or so to make the most of these times. I also saw something saying that the bear market lasts 4 years in an article and that it started in June of 2022, so the bear market would last until 2026. Despite all the uncertainty of how long it'll last, just remember that these next 12 to 18 months will be the difference between you making thousands next cycle or potentially hundreds of thousands or even millions if you're diligent and follow these things I share in this video. Focus on your portfolio size instead of dollar amount. This might sound a little confusing, but it's actually quite simple. Something I started doing recently is keeping track of my portfolio each month in CRO. As long as I'm growing the amount of CRO that I have as the months go on, then I'm moving in the right direction. I would like to say my portfolio is worth 1 million CRO before the next cycle. That's only going to happen with diligent trading and investing and being on top of things. Looking at the dollar amounts your portfolio is trading at can really just demotivate you and make you feel sad. You won't want to keep checking your portfolio or the markets and will miss out on lots of trading opportunities that you could have used to grow your portfolio. I did this for most of 2018 and half of 2019 because I couldn't stand looking at my portfolio and how depressing it was. It was so sad, and I wasn't even really able to invest more at the time. And fast forward to now, trust me, it's just as hard, if not harder, to be diligently checking the markets and being focused on trades and growing up the portfolio while I'm down 70 to 80%. Looking at the amount of CRO I have gives me hope and confidence moving forward. I know that it can be worth a lot more dollars in the future, but I'm focused on increasing that number each month. My goal of 1 million CRO seems very far-fetched and almost impossible to achieve, but if you break it down, it doesn't seem as intimidating. 1 million CRO is worth between 50 and 60,000 at the time of this recording, so if you divide that by 10, you would need about 5 or 6,000 to get 100,000 CRO. If you're able to invest that amount maybe 4 times a year, then that would be 400,000 CRO, and would take you about 2.5 years to get 1 million if the price stayed this low. This doesn't include what you could have been making from trades as well as staking. Break down your goals into smaller amounts. If I had a goal to invest 1,000 every paycheck or every month, that would get me an extra 20,000 CRO. That could potentially be 20,000 if it goes over $1 next cycle, and maybe even higher. Making some CRO right now may seem small when prices are low, but when CRO is worth $1 or even $5 one day, that is a huge difference in your potential gains. I recommend keeping a record on your phone notes tab, which you can pin this to the top, and then on the first of each month, go through your portfolio, add up all the CRO you have on all platforms, include any USD that you have from trades or that you'll use to buy CRO. Then you divide that USD number by the price of CRO, and then you add that to the total value of CRO in your portfolio. And then each month on the first, do this, and then you can see where you're headed. So hopefully each month you're getting a little bit more CRO in there in your portfolio. And sometimes we just need some optimism while it seems like there isn't any in the markets. So this gives you some hope and guidance for the future. This will also help you remain accountable with your dollar cost averaging and knowing that each week or month those dollars you're adding to your portfolio can increase this amount of CRO. The amount now in the bear market will make a much bigger difference than when we're back in the bull run. Focus on trading altcoins against Bitcoin. Now, you might be confused by this, so let me explain how it works. Bitcoin and altcoins can be traded against the US dollar or whatever currency you're primarily trading against. The majority of altcoins can also be traded against Bitcoin. The prices fluctuate when Bitcoin goes up more than altcoins or Bitcoin goes down less than altcoins like we've seen before. One of the common phrases that you'll hear is Satoshi or Sats, and what that stands for is 1 Satoshi is like 100 millionth of a Bitcoin, and that's going to be a term used a lot when you're comparing these altcoins to Bitcoin. And the numbers on these trading pairs means that one of these altcoins will get you that much Bitcoin. So it might be 200 Satoshis or 5 million Satoshis. And for example, Ethereum is worth 0.07 Bitcoin or 0.06 wherever it's trading currently, which means it's worth 6 100ths or 7 100ths of a Bitcoin if you sold 1 ETH at this moment. These numbers fluctuate because, for example, before the ETH merge last year, you could get ETH at roughly 0.05 of a Bitcoin, which is even lower. Now you're probably thinking, well, how does that actually help me? So if you held some Bitcoin and bought Ethereum in this example at 0.05 and you got ETH at those prices, then a few months later sold those for 0.07, you'd profit 0.02 Bitcoin for each Ethereum that you sold. So you can do this with most coins, and each time you make a trade that's profitable, you'll either earn more altcoins or more Bitcoin, so it's a win-win. Of course, you can sell an altcoin early and you might miss out on some profits, but as long as you made a little bit of Bitcoin, then it was a successful trade. To try and make sure that you don't sell an altcoin too early, I recommend selling a little bit every 20%. so that way your average gain will increase as the price goes up. And these are the type of trades that I do on the Bitcoin challenge. Even though we started this challenge at the very peak of the market, we are still in the green in terms of how much Bitcoin we hold. We hold more than twice the amount of Bitcoin than when we started. So we started the challenge with 0.1 Bitcoin, and we were up to almost 0.3 Bitcoin just a few months ago before Bitcoin started to take off at the beginning of 2023. So I had to move funds off Bittrex to Kraken for the challenge and haven't had time to place a lot of trades and plans for the account moving forward, but it's currently sitting around 0.24 Bitcoin at the time of this recording. Something extremely important to learn and understand is that Bitcoin and altcoins move in cycles, which is why we hear the term alt season. But we don't really hear the term Bitcoin season as much, even though I would say this whole year of 2023 has been a Bitcoin season so far. And this also happened in the end of 2020 from about September until January of 2021. Oops, might have broke this, but we'll see. I would say this whole year of 2023 has been a Bitcoin season so far. So alt season was happening in the summer of 2020. From May until August or September, we saw a lot of these coins perform well and outperform Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin had its turn, going from about 10,000 to 30,000 in about 4 months, while altcoins hardly moved at all and lost a lot of the worth against Bitcoin. By recognizing what season we are in and moving altcoins into Bitcoin and Bitcoin into altcoins during the optimal times can really help you grow your portfolio tremendously. From pretty conservative targets and selling prices, I think it's doable to double your portfolio trading account or portfolio from just a change in cycle if you understand when to buy and sell. In this current cycle we're in a Bitcoin cycle, it would be a fantastic time to sell some of your Bitcoins for altcoins that you're more confident in moving forward. Since CRO is one of our favorite coins, let's look at how it's moved against Bitcoin the past couple years and when the right time to sell would be and how to approach it. So I'm gonna jump on my computer and show you the spreadsheet that I made comparing CRO against Bitcoin for the past couple years. All right, so first off, we have a bunch of different dates. These are the prices of CRO in Satoshis. As I explained before, for example, this one, 700 Satoshis would be like 0.000. There's going to have 5 zeros and then a 7 and so on. And this is what it looks like. So you can see the different prices with the zeros. So if you were on CoinMarketCap, you could see that. So May 8th of 2020, it was at 700 Satoshis. For this example, I'm just saying that you had 10,000 CRO and 0 Bitcoin at the time. This is the total amount of CRO that you have, and then the amount that you sold or bought, and the amount of Bitcoin that it's worth, and the amount of dollars that it's worth at the time of this price. So fast forward 3 months, and then we're at 1,400 Satoshis in August. And what I would do is sell 5,000 CRO, as you can see here, and this would give you 0.07 Bitcoin. So then your total portfolio would be worth about 0.14 Bitcoin, and then the dollar amount would be worth this. And that's with the Bitcoin times the price of Bitcoin at the time. In November, it'd be 500 Satoshis. That's what the price was. What I would do is buy back some of it. So what we did is we took half of the Bitcoin we had and put 0.035, which gets us 7,000 CRO. So as you can see, our portfolio, or the worth of it, is a little bit less at 0.095 Bitcoin, but now we have more CRO than we started with and a little bit of Bitcoin. And then fast forward even more, CRO went down to 200 Satoshis, and then basically at that point I would just put the rest of it in, and you can see the portfolio was actually down from where we started in terms of how much Bitcoin it has. It's now at 0.0585, but now the amount of CRO we have is almost triple what it was before, and the value is higher as well. And then it went up to 400 Satoshis. What I would do is sell some of it. So for example, sold 10,000, almost a third, which gets us 0.04 Bitcoin. And this is the price, or this is the worth of the portfolio then. And then in June, rebuy that amount at 300 Satoshis, which is about a 30% gain, and only rebuying half of that. So just in case it goes lower, you will always want to be splitting up your orders. So you get 6,667 at that price, left with 0.02 Bitcoin. This is the value of the portfolio at 0.095 or 85. And then in November of 2021, this is when it started to take off. So 600 Satoshis, sell 5,000, you'd get 0.03. That would be the amount. And then your total is this. And then the value of the portfolio is now at this. And then sell again at 1,000 Satoshis just a couple weeks later. And then a couple months later, 1,200 Satoshis. And still being left with over 10,000, which is what we started with. And now you have 0.16 Bitcoin, almost 0.3 Bitcoin in the portfolio. And then you buy slowly and surely as it goes down as well, which in June you'd buy about a fourth of the Bitcoin that you had. So as you can see, 25% there would get you 6,000. Then it dropped down to 400 Satoshis. So you'd buy another fourth, and then that would get you 10,000. And it dropped to even 300 Satoshis. And then you'd get another fourth, and that would get you another 13,000. And then I would place these orders at 200 and also at 500 to sell. This last amount of 0.04 would get you 20,000, and it actually just hit this price range recently in the last couple weeks. So I could even add that to this. This was made a month or so ago when I made this, and you can just see that it would fill that. And now we're sitting at over 60,000 Crow, but we don't have any more Bitcoin. And this is the value of the portfolio in Crow. And then if it were to go up and hit this 500 Satoshis, we would sell 5,000 again. And this is what the amount of Bitcoin you would get. And these are the prices that it would be at. So as you can see, just over time, if you continue doing this with small amounts, you can just grow your portfolio tremendously. And I have been doing this with the Bitcoin challenge that I'm doing, starting with 0.1 and going from 0.1 all the way to 1 Bitcoin. Now, I don't have a set goal on when I want to accomplish this. It could take me a year, it could take me multiple years, but just from the year that I've been doing it, I grew it all the way to 0.3, and then right now it's kind of lower, so it's at 0.24. But if we're in an alt season again, we could see it go up to 0.4 or 0.5 very quickly. And my goal as I get to that Bitcoin is to diversify and spread it across multiple exchanges and just continue trade it. Now, of course, these numbers are not super realistic because it's one of the better scenarios but you can get an idea of how making trades throughout the cycles can really add to your long-term portfolio. I realized something extremely interesting when I figured this out. This is how the big players in the markets, or I should say the whales, move their money around and are even more profitable. They understand the cycles, and when we are in a specific cycle, how to proceed. If it is an altcoin season, they would be setting sell orders for their altcoins by looking at the potential in each coin and the history of the charts. If it's in a Bitcoin season, they'd be looking at the best altcoin positions to buy with their Bitcoin, or be buying altcoins instead of Bitcoin when they are dollar cost averaging. If you don't understand how crucial and important this strategy is, it could be the difference between making millions or hundreds of thousands in crypto. This is so important because trading against USD is good and there are good opportunities, but you don't want to sell a lot of your crypto at these low prices in USD if the whole market goes up. If you traded against Bitcoin, the whole market could go up, but you could still be making good trades in a lot of coins since coins will move faster than Bitcoin and vice versa. I think trading against Bitcoin is best for the bear market to increase your portfolios, and trading against USD is best for the bull market to increase your USD holdings and taking profits. Having a solid community to uplift and support. Before we move on to the next section, the last section of this video has my favorite way to increase your Crows holding, so make sure to stick around to the end. This is by far one of the most overlooked parts and most important during a bear market. When you're doing this alone, you can only take so much by yourself before you get overwhelmed and want to give up. You need people around you that are going through the same thing as you. Even just a couple people around you can motivate you and help you succeed. I went through this the last bear market with my cousin and a good friend I met up in Idaho. We would have weekly or bi-weekly meetings to discuss the markets and what coins we wanted to study and bring back to share each meeting. These meetings were my saving grace and got me through the tough times and even pushed me to work harder. Fast forward to now, I have a small group on my Patreon where we have these same type of meetings that have been so helpful for all of us to help motivate each other. It's pushed me to study more and be diligent in my work. I've decided to stop charging my Patreons at this time, and I haven't really decided how I want to proceed with having the group. As of right now, we are still actively talking in our Discord occasionally, and I'm so grateful for everyone that's been a part of the group and know that we all have things we can share that others need. Just having one person that you can talk to and relate to going through this bear market can make such a difference in your viewpoint on the markets. You can motivate each other and bounce ideas off the other on what you should prioritize at the moment. For example, at my weekly or bi-weekly meetings with my friend and cousin, we would talk about projects and news we heard, but I also started trying to trade and learn and build strategies around it. I shared it with them and they started to implement it as well and grow their portfolios more during the bear market. You might have your next big idea or realization while talking to others about crypto. Another great way to be involved in the community is by watching other YouTubers and watching YouTube videos during the bear market. There are a select few that continue watching crypto videos in the bear market, including myself, and I watched a ton of videos in 2018, 2019. That's actually when I found BitBoy in like 2018 or 2019, because he was one of the only creators that I saw still making videos during the bear market, so I'd watch like all of his videos. Next up is setting up your trades with support and resistance. So I'm going to be using my phone and showing you how to do this on KuCoin. All right, here we are on my KuCoin account. So we got Crow against USDT. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by setting up orders based on support and resistance. So there's different time frames for the candlestick charts. The longer the time frame, the more powerful these support and resistance lines are going to be. So I usually look at the 1 day chart, but you can always change it to like the 1 hour, like the 4 hour, 8 hour. So for example, I'm going to go back to the 1 hour. If we're looking at this chart, looking at these two lines, these are going to have these levels where it tops out. So for example, this candle that goes up right there and comes back down, it's reached a high of 0.053, and then it's similar to the high that it reached like right around here of 0.0545. So if I did end up buying some and want to do a short trade or just a small trade, I would sell some around that 0.054, a little bit lower than where these two levels hit. So since this hit 0.05437, I'd probably place my order at like 0.0542. That way it's a little bit lower, couple percentage lower than that, and has the potential to hit that. Now I usually zoom out more and go to a longer time frame, such as like the 8 hour or the 1 day. So I'm going to show you the 1 day. So looking at these, a good support line would be that 5 cents. So you see that 0.0503. So if I were to set a buy order, I'd be looking at that candle, but I'd also be looking at the lows of these candles. So this low is 0.051 or 112. Then this candle right here, 0.0517, 0.05198. So looking at those 3 candlesticks or 4 candlesticks, I would place a buy order if I'd made a sell in the above this at 0.052 or 0.0521, just so that it's easier to hit based on those 4 candles that are under that price point. Same with resistance. So looking at these points right here, 0.0617, 0.0623, 0.0613, or 0.0617. It seemed like it hit 0.0617 quite a few times, and I'm pretty sure I placed a sell order around that because of that. Or I guess I didn't, but I placed an order a little bit higher because of this price point right here. So if I scroll over, you can see these price points as it went down, this range that it bounced up to 0.064, and these previous ranges of 0.7, 0.07. These are how I place my orders and looking where I'm going to be buying. So I look at these, and these are like the support and resistance. So these candles right here, resistance up here, I'm pretty sure I placed an order below these prices in order to hit close to it. So like 0.0746 to be a little bit below 0.075. And now this would be a good idea to place an order around this price that I was just discovering right here. 2 or 0.0617, 0.0149, 0.0617, and I think it hit 0.0617 another time. But what I would do is I would take all of those, including this one where it went to 0.06149, and I'd go a little bit below that. So 613, and then let's say sell 150. Now we got that order placed at 0.0613, and then you can just see how if it does go up, it might have some resistance at that level, which is why it's a good time to place that order a little bit below that. And then the same with buys. I'm going to go to Crow against Bitcoin since we just talked about trading against Bitcoin. So you can see it is below 200 Satoshis, so that order would have filled. And if we look at this zoomed out, we have all these little wicks going up to 270, 280, 290, and 270, 250, and so on. And then if you go even further, you can see where the next levels of support and resistance are, around 370, 370 again, 368.8. So I would place an order a little bit below that. You can even look at this one, 364.7. You want to place the order a little below those levels. So you just look at all these wicks, and even if it did bounce right here, you might place an order at 230 Satoshis or a little bit below, maybe 227, to get that 10%, 15% from here. And then you would look at the support lines on where you would want to rebuy, which might be around these low prices such as 196 or 198. So maybe put it a little bit above 198, put like 198.5 or something. Let's see. So we have some orders set up as well. I had this order of 297 and then 246. I had the 297 before this even happened, so it got really, really close to my order, and that was based off of previous resistance, but it didn't quite hit it. That's also a good sign when your order gets really close, and I could lower it if I really wanted to, but just knowing that that's a really good area for that sell order. And let me explain to you why this is huge. You need to build a side income to increase income in order to buy more Crow. You have 1 to 2 years in a bear market to build a side income, whether it's scalable or not. Side hustles are a lot of fun and exciting, but sometimes not super great money makers. I've tried just about everything from collecting cans, mowing lawns, flipping items, YouTube, making music, affiliate marketing, tutoring, and much more. I prefer to build side hustles that are scalable, but often those result in a lot of upfront work for no to little pay at first, whereas time-based ones you can start earning right away based on the work that you put in. Here are the pros and cons to building a scalable side hustle versus a time-based one. So first, some examples of time-based side hustles include mowing lawns, collecting cans, couponing, tutoring, delivering apps, Uber, window cleaning, teaching your skills such as piano lessons, swim lessons, voice lessons, and even like cooking classes. And there's tons of other ones. Some examples of scalable side hustles include vending machines, YouTube, affiliate marketing, e-commerce, using your skills such as editing, thumbnails, marketing, building websites, content manager, property manager, electrical work, construction work, woodworking, welding, and much more. Now, some of those can be scalable if you're increasing your prices due to demand, even though they might be time-based. You could also move some of those teacher skills to a scalable income if you created some type of video course to teach online. Now, the pros for a time-based side hustle are you can start earning right away based on the time that you put in. It's also more stable and steady if you work the same amount of time each month. It can result in being extra hundreds or thousands a month just starting. The cons for a time-based side hustle are you can get capped out pretty quick on your potential income that it can bring in. You're also paid by the hour, so if you took a month off, you wouldn't earn anything for that month. Now, pros for a scalable side hustle, there's no limit to what you can earn. Often these can create a passive income even if you don't put in as much time that next month. If you put in way more time the first 6 months, it can have a snowball effect and allow you to not have to spend as much time building them later on. Cons for a scalable side hustle are there are lots and lots of upfront work. It takes a lot of time to make as much as you could from a time-based side hustle, and they don't always make more than a time-based side hustle. All of that being said, we want to build an income to buy more crow with it. You can choose whichever side hustle you prefer. A buddy of mine has done DoorDash and delivery apps, and during 2021, he accumulated over 100,000 crow when prices were trading between 10 and 20 cents. The amount he made was worth almost 100,000 at the peak of the market when crow was at 90 cents, and he was able to profit a lot off of that move. I typically choose all the scalable side hustles, and they don't always make me money. This YouTube channel I started to share my experience and knowledge on crypto, and I invested a lot into my equipment, recording my course with a professional video company, YouTube courses, editors, marketers, and much more. And I'm far from break even on this channel, but I understand how scalable side hustles work, knowing that someday I could break even and maybe even be profitable. But at the same time, that might not happen. I just love YouTube and love creating content. I've also made music, which is on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. If you're interested in listening to two of my songs that I've released, check them out in the video description after this video. I never made music to make money, even though I've made about maybe $20 or $30 so far, and it's just passive at this point. I eventually want an album and lots more songs out there, but that'll just take time. Maybe it could actually make me hundreds or thousands of dollars per year one day. One scalable side hustle I chose that has actually worked is with affiliate marketing. I found it in about October of last year and started working on it, and from then on, I put all my time and effort into it. And so that's part of the reason why I wasn't posting as much, because I was spending all my time working on this. And in December, I was able to make a few hundred, and then it even scaled to more since then. It has grown to be a good side income that has become more and more passive now that I've spent tons of hours working hard at it at first. Now, I also will do some time-based side hustles here and there. I've done work for my dad and my uncles in construction and demolition businesses, doing things such as cleaning, home building, breaking things with a sledgehammer, and lifting heavy objects. I find these very satisfying to me because I've always loved manual labor work, getting my hands dirty, because at the end of the day, you feel very accomplished and you can see the progress that you made that day. So my advice to you is to pick one side hustle at a time and spend as much time as you can to work on that thing. When you're not able to spend as much time during the week to do it, think about what you could be doing or ways that you could improve that income. Make sure you always have a notebook or your phone at hand to take down notes and ideas as they come to you. If you don't, you will forget golden ideas and impressions that could have helped you tremendously. You also don't need to have vast knowledge in something to work in it. I've been a beginner in most of the things I've worked in. You just put the time into it and you'll notice growth and how things can just start to click for you. If you can make an extra $100 a month to invest in crow, that's almost 2,000 crow. If it hits $1, then that's an extra $2,000 a month you could potentially make from that side income. If you invested $500, that could be $10,000 a month. $1,000 a month, that could turn into an extra $20,000 a month. And I don't know about you, but I would not say no to an extra $20,000 a month. You also don't need to wait for it to reach $1 to sell it. If you wanted to sell some at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 cents, and so on, you totally could. If you sold 10% at every 10-cent interval from 10 cents all the way to $1, instead of making a 20x on your investment, you would make a 10.9x return while also lowering the risk and taking profits. I'm currently interested in getting started with vending machines and investing in those as a new side hustle. It would be a lot of work to manage and restock and find locations, but it's something that I'm interested in and I've always been interested in. I'm just looking to diversify and expand my income sources. Here's the big lesson I learned from the last bull run. I did take a lot of profits and invested them in side hustles like this YouTube channel, but the problem was that all my eggs were still in one basket, crypto. Now I want to have income coming from vending machines, real estate eventually, stocks, crypto, YouTube, affiliate marketing, and maybe even one day music. If you really care to spend any extra time on something that will save you a little or make you a little with not much effort, I recommend using fast food apps, grocery apps, and receipt apps. I use all the point systems with fast food places and save up points for a free sandwich or meal. I also use the Walmart app with Walmart Plus, since we do all our grocery shopping there. And on the app, you can earn rewards back with certain items while shopping. It may only be 25 cents here and $1 there, but it adds up over time. Lastly, I use 2 receipt scanning apps such as ReceiptPal and Fetch Rewards to scan my receipts. And it's not much, but I've earned between $50 and $100 in gift cards from that over time. I know it's not a lot, but for the extra minute or so you spend using these things, it can make or save you hundreds a year. Now, if you found this information helpful and found a lot of value from this mini course, I encourage you to check out my Crow course down below that has even more tips to make more Crow and tons of good information. I made it close to the peak when the prices were trading between 30 and 40 cents, so it might not really talk about the lower prices we're at right now, which means it's just an even better time to buy and do these things. This is a lifetime access to this course, and you could also look at my trading course down below as well. For both of these courses, I plan on making updated videos over time and will provide new ideas and information over time. One thing I plan on including to the course are different levels of beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and videos that cater to each level. I probably spent close to $10,000 on courses, if not more than that over time. Some courses I put in tons of effort and got results, and other courses I hardly used or planned on using later and haven't really seen any results. So you will need to put in the work on my course. I plan on adding lots of updates with homework for videos that you can study and learn certain things more effectively. Once I finish those updates, I will probably increase the price. Just for sticking around and watching this far in the video, I'll even include a discount code that is only going to be mentioned in this video. The code is BEAR10 for 10% off either of those courses. Since you stuck around, I even have a bonus tip. Bonus tip is saving on trading and withdrawal fees. First off, the withdrawal fees are pretty brutal if you ever move Crow on the Ethereum network. On KuCoin, the withdrawal fee is 150 Crow to withdraw. On Coinbase, it was a 33 Crow fee to withdraw no matter the amount of Crow. This is much lower to withdraw than on KuCoin. The fee to withdraw on Crypto.com is 200 Crow, also on the Ethereum network. All of these are on the ETH network. If you're moving things on the Kronos change between the DeFi wallet and exchange, it would be much smaller fees. Those fees may not seem like much right now while the price of Crow is low, but I remember withdrawing Crow to Coinbase Pro close to the peak, and the fee of 200 Crow was about $150. Make sure it is worth paying the fee with each withdrawal you do. Also try and limit yourself with withdrawals and do an occasional big withdrawal every 6 months instead of one every month or every week. Now here's where it would actually make sense to trade Crow into a different coin and withdraw it through that and trade it back into Crow. So I made this spreadsheet for Crypto.com and how it would compare withdrawing versus trading it into XLM and withdrawing XLM, then trading it back into Crow on either KuCoin or Coinbase. The results I found were it makes the most sense to trade into XLM unless you're using more than 10,000 Crow per transaction, since it'll cost you less in fees. For KuCoin, you would need to have more than 13,000 Crow in transaction to make it cheaper to just withdraw for Coinbase. That is with the lowest fee structure of 0.5%. If you have a lower percentage such as 0.2 or 0.1, then it would be closer to 30 to 50,000 Crow. On Coinbase, to withdraw to KuCoin, it would be cheaper trading than withdrawing if you have less than 2,800 Crow. There are so many ways you can be making more Crow this bear market, and if you apply the things I taught in this course. So I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I made and just talk a little bit about it. Alright, so this is the spreadsheet that I made, and it's got all the different prices for Crow. So what the current price or the future price is if it's at 5 cents, like it is currently, the amount of Crow, the fee that you'd be paying on Crypto.com to sell your Crow and buy XLM, with the 1.5% fee, which is the average fee that I've seen on Crypto.com, and then the fee to withdraw XLM to Coinbase, you're paying for selling on KuCoin. I said Coinbase, I meant KuCoin. And then the total fee selling on CDC plus buying Crow on KuCoin. So basically what I did is I took the 1.5% fee, times it by 2. So it's going to take this price plus the 8 cents plus the $1.50 for the fees for trading. It equals $1.58 for the fee that you're going to be spending. And then if you went the Coinbase Pro route, your fee is going to be about $2 versus $1.58. And so what I was explaining before is I did this for all the different amounts of Crow, so you can just see it, the fees that you'd be paying based on the prices, and then all of that. And then in conclusion, I figured out that when the appropriate times to trade instead of withdraw are if you have 10,000 or less coins on Crypto.com. If you are trying to withdraw from KuCoin, 13,000 or less coins, and then on Coinbase, 2,800 or less coins. There are so many ways you could be making more crow this bear market, and if you apply the things I taught you in this course, you'll make a lot more than you currently are. This can be applied to any coin you're holding, including Bitcoin. For the altcoin against Bitcoin section, you would just trade your Bitcoin against whatever altcoin you choose. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you made it to the end of this video, comment the word applesauce down below. And make sure to check out one of these crow videos next. Remember, as always, keep it in the green.